How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to SeaBed. Alright, I don't know what's real anymore. I'm almost unsure of what to go with or what to say even at this point, just because things are just kind of crazy. I think everyone might be crazy. I don't even know if Sachiko is real or Takako is real. They might both be fake at this point. But we're still seeing things from Takako's point of view now at the sanatorium, and things just kind of seem to be moving along. We've got some pretty strong indications that she has a much more personal relationship with the nurse than you would expect. Like at first, we could tell that pretty early on that they were pretty good friends, but she obviously finds herself attracted to her, and they obviously are comfortable enough to do the whole back massage scene. So professionalism is kind of out of the window, it looks like. Yeah, so I guess maybe we'll learn some more. We also learned that while Sachiko was experiencing auditory-like enhancements, Takako experiences an opposite effect, where she'll feel like she'll have an episode where it feels like there's no sound and like that she can't hear anything. But yeah, so we'll find out what happens now, I guess. I've tried really hard to try and reason out what's going on, but I keep getting thrown these curveballs that just make no sense compared to what I've been experiencing and thinking, so I don't know if I'm going to try that hard. We're going to have to see what happens and see what we can learn from here. So anyway, back to the courtyard. The heels of my shoes clicked against the stone pavement in the inner yard. Surrounded by the walls of the sanatorium from three sides, the center of the inner yard gave home to a small hill with a tall sephora tree growing in the middle. It was surrounded by stone-paved road, beds of flowers, and benches. Tired from walking, I walked closer to the tree, hoping to take a break in the shade of its leaves. Said leaves helped little, though. They continued to shift, letting the sunlight through. However, the light clouds began to gather in the sky instead. Okay. Good morning. Hey, Mayuko. Hey, Mayuko. Good morning. What are you doing here? I'm taking care of the flowers. She was stooped in front of the flower bed with a small shovel in hand. Looking up, I saw that most of the sky was already blanketed by clouds. Clouds seem to be kind of assembling above us. You sure you're going to be okay? Mayuko looked at the sky as well. On the radio, they said it would be a clear day. Indeed, according to the broadcast, the possibility of rain today was 0. I listened to that as well, but I'm not sure that I can trust them with the sky being the way it is now. Mayuko returned her gaze to me. I think I should still be okay if I finish my lunch. Is there anything I can do to help? Are you sure? As long as you make me some tea afterwards. Sure. Mayuko narrowed her eyes and smiled. I crouched in front of one of the flower beds and dug a hole in the soil, mimicking Mayuko. I took out a seedling from the pot she had with her, sticking it in the hole and covering the roots with dirt. Here you go, Takako. She handed me a pot with a small flower and a purple, red, and white petals. Purple, red, and white petals. Interesting. Oh, shoot. I'm pretty sure I know what that is. Purple, red, and white. I don't know. I can't think of it right now. That's a cute one. How come it has multiple colors? Is that heart sense? Heart sense? Heart science? Sorry, I don't know what that is. It's called a primrose. Oh, okay. Primrose. I honestly didn't know that. Sorry. I think I must have been mixing it up with something else. Mayuko answered me in a cheerful tone. She had about 20 seedlings with her. Those flowers were just as colorful as heart seas. Even in their randomly aligned pots, they still looked beautiful. We're lucky to have that many flower beds. Can I plate them in any order I want? Yes, go ahead. Those can be group planted, so you're free to arrange them in any way you wish. I'm good at this kind of thing. I'll make an art piece out of these things. Rolling up my sleeves, I inspected both the flowers and the flower beds. Do you like flowers? Yeah. Well, not enough to become a gardener or anything, but I like them. What's your favorite flower? Mayuko addressed me as she stirred the soil, adjusting the position of the red flower she'd planted. I like morning glories and tulips. Did you used to grow them at school? Yeah. The ones you grow are always the dearest to you, right? Didn't the pots feel heavy when you had to bring them home before summer break? They sure did. You were allowed to take them a week before the break, but everyone would always delay it to the last day. This was being a kid for you. I can imagine you were only bringing back your lunch bags and sportswear on the day of the closing ceremony. I see you understand me well. I remember how this one time I had to carry a huge pot in both hands with my sportswear bag attached to it with a knapsack hook. The anti-raven stick and the pot of morning glories blocked my view, and the sportswear bag soon got in the way of my feet. It's funny. It's actually so true. I was the kid who, like, I always ended up, like, leaving my winter coat at school. Because inevitably there'd be a morning where I would wear it, but it would be so warm I didn't want to wear it home. And it would just never come home. There was also one time where I had a bike that I had, like, locked up to the bike rack. But one morning I actually had appendicitis. Like, so I woke up and my side was kind of hurting a little bit. And it got worse and worse as the day progressed, and so by second period, I was calling my dad, and I was like, hey, I need to get out of here. And my dad decided to take me to the doctor's office, but the pain got so intense between, like, the school and the doctor's office that he immediately just took me to the emergency room. And sure enough, my appendix was about to explode. They had to cut it out that day. Like, boom. Just insane stuff. But the thing is that my bike was still at the school, and it took forever for me to get home for two reasons. Number one was the fact that I could not ride a bike for a while, having just been through surgery. And then number two, during that time, the lock broke, so I couldn't unlock it with the key anymore, so it was just padlocked forever. And I just kind of didn't really know what to do with it, didn't do anything about it. And then, like, the last day of school, I finally went to, like, the janitor, and was just like, hey, can you help me get my bike off? And he's like, okay, sure, yeah, no problem. Take your bolt cutters and just go clip it off. And I even had to talk with, like, the officer that was on our campus, and just told her, like, look, I'm going to be cutting my bike off the bike rack. Don't panic. It's my bike, and I've gotten permission to do it. And then I even remember I was out there with, like, the class, and I was like I was snapping off the padlock, and a kid actually came out the back door with his phone up, taking a video, asking me what I was doing because he thought I was trying to steal the bikes. And, you know, of course, because I was such a delinquent in school. No, I was such a nerd. My senior year of school, I never skipped a class. Well, I did. I skipped lots of classes, but I always did it with permission. Like, the teachers just assumed I had better things to do and never ever questioned. So, like, I had a lot of classes. I literally just after I finished my work, I'd just be like, hey, I'm done. I'm going to go take care of something over here. And then I just leave. Just go do what I wanted. Anyway, enough about my high school experiences. You just heard, like, 3 little stories all in a row there. As I talked, I decided where I wanted to plant the flowers and tentatively placed them on the flower bed. As I began balancing them out, Mayuko glanced at my handiwork. Ah, don't you feel the purple ones would look better here? You think so? That's the feeling I get, at least. If possible, I'd like that side to have more red and pink. Mayuko made several gestures to point out her preferred positions. I see. So, you want to balance the colors out to an extent. It would be more beautiful that way, wouldn't you agree? Gotcha. Then how about this? I changed the positions of a few flowers according to her instructions. That's good. I really like it. Okay then, I'll go with this. Thank you. It was my first time seeing Mayuko be so into something. I lightly patted the soil to check if it was ready for planting. As I was lining up the red flowers the way Mayuko wanted them, something tiny moved inside my field of view all of a sudden. Ah, a caterpillar! There was an out-of-season yellowish-green caterpillar crawling along the flower bed. It was moving toward Mayuko's direction. Well, where is it? There! It's a Ulysses butterfly. Well, you can't let it wander around here. Mayuko scooped up the caterpillar along with some of the soil and lightly flung it towards the center tree. You're okay with bugs? I like butterflies. Mayuko continued trimming the roots of the seedlings as she addressed me. Is there anything you're scared of, Mayuko? Well, there's a thing or two I'm afraid of, naturally. And what would those be? She looked straight at me. I'd rather not say. Come on, it's like you have anything to lose. I carefully pulled out a pink flower from the pot and placed it on the soil. I can't help but feel like you'll end up using it in some prank against me if I told you. I won't. How old do you think I am? No, Takako, that does not apply to you. You would absolutely do that. Anyway, let's finish this before it starts raining. Mayuko pursed her lips, ignoring everything else I tried to say. I was busy clearing out the withered flowers when and old grass from another flower bed when I spotted a drop of water splashing against the reddish-brown bricks. As I gazed at that phenomenon, another drop of rain fell on my head. I could hear the light pattering of rain as it fell on the tree leaves. Here comes the rain! Mayuko brushed her sweat off with a sleeve. Takako, please go back ahead of me. What are you planning to do? I'll finish this row first. Well, okay. I stood up, holding an empty pot and a bag of grass, then hurried towards the door leading back to the building. I opened the door and left all the things I've been carrying in the entrance. Then I continued down the hallway, its wooden floorboards creaking against each of my steps, towards the night duty room. Ooh, now it's coming down. Whoosh. Returning to the inner yard, I found Mayuko still crouching in front of the flower bed despite the rain. I walked up to her and opened an umbrella I found in the night duty to shield her from the downpour. Thank you very much. She looked up at me, still crouched. A lot of people would be inconvenienced if you caught a cold. Does that include you, Takako? Of course. Mayuko chuckled. I'll prepare a bath as soon as I'm back. Oh boy. That could get interesting. The rain continued to beat down against the umbrella as well as the leaves of the camphor tree. Okay, well, that was nice. Interesting. Sachiko's part ended with her tending flowers in the garden too. Oh boy, I was right. It is a bath scene. Oh, we'll see where this is going to lead. The mosaic-styled floor of the bath that Mayuko had just cleaned sparkled in the light on the other end of the room. I could see a bunch of yellow plastic bowls neatly arranged in the shape of a mountain. This looks like it's like actual, like, very traditional style. I've always wondered what it would be like. Like this, like, bathroom etiquette in general is going to be something I'm going to have trouble with in Japan. A lot of things would definitely be very different from what I've grown up with. I sat down in front of the shower and turned its handle. The moment I did, the lonely bathroom hall was filled with the sound of running water. After spraying the hot water all over myself, I took extra care to wash off the dirt that got on my hands and under my fingernails. Once I was done with that, I continued to the bathtub. Honestly, doing it that way is actually a lot more sanitary if you think about it. Like, cause then you get off the initial, like, dirt, and then you soak in the water. And, I don't know, I'm guessing that's where you apply the soap? I don't know. It had underwater stairs on both ends to make it easier to descend. The first step reached up to my knees. I stepped on it, sending a wave across the tub. Countless ripples disturbed the previously calm surface of the water. Ow, ow, ow. I jumped up in my shoulders. I jumped in up to my shoulders right away, sending some of the steam and water flying to the back of the black bathtub, splashing across the mosaic-style tiles surrounding it. I caught my basket before I could be swept away, then placed it on the edge of the bath. After that, I laid it on my back, resting my head against the same edge. The bath here sure is great. I heaved a relaxed breath. Upside down shower head and the black wooden ceiling filled my vision. The lights below the shower head were on, perhaps due to the cloudy weather. As I gave it a closer look, I managed to make out orange filaments inside the otherwise white tube. Steam drifted lazily across the bathroom. It looked soft and strikingly white compared to its murky surroundings. My gaze wandered up the wooden wall, almost pitch black after many years of use, and settled on the windows above. The bottom ones seemed to have been made of wavy glass. I could hear the beat of the rain against them. I heard the rattling sound of the bathroom door being slid open from behind me. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, first off, don't ever get confused. I definitely have no issues with people who... I don't care who the heck you like or don't like. It's all up to you. But I have wondered this. one of the biggest reasons why we've always had a culture of separating guys from girls is because there is a level of attraction there. And so, like, the idea is that you keep them separated because you can, like, it's more likely that shenanigans won't go down, that you don't have to worry about people looking at you, and, like, in a lustful manner, you know, and, like, you can kind of focus on your own thing, and you can also have a camaraderie if you're going to a public bath or something. However, doesn't that change? Like, I almost wish, honestly, like, this is gonna sound really weird, but I almost wish that instead of, like, guys and girls bathrooms, like, we somehow could divide it up amongst, like, attractiveness or something. That wouldn't work, though, because some people are bi and attracted to both. But it's, like, it's one of the things where, like, the goal of having the separation at all, ultimately, is just to make sure you feel comfortable. For instance, like, because I just do not find it attractive in any way, I would feel uncomfortable around if I were being leered at by guys who were attracted to me. Like, I would find that as uncomfortable as I was being leered at by a bunch of girls, and vice versa. I don't think it'd bother me too much now, because I'm a lot more, like, I don't know, I'm a lot more comfortable with me and who I am, but especially, like, younger me would have been really thrown off by that. As a matter of fact, when I once was the subject of actual, like, romantic advances by a guy, I had no idea how to handle it. I handled it pretty terribly, to be honest, but I was a kid, so I hope he's forgiven me. But it's just like one of those things where it's just like, with our perspective and our way of viewing these types of relationships and these types of interactions, as it evolves and as it becomes more accepting of different people, I wish there were ways that we could do it. Because, like, we're probably going to have a scene now with Takako and the nurse, Mayuko, I don't know, like, you know better than me. We're probably going to have, like, a scene with the two of them. And if there is mutual attraction there, it's going to be very sweet and very fun, potentially. But what if it was a one-way? And what if one person was very overt about it? That could become really, really awkward. And unlike the standard guy and girl separation, there really isn't any barriers for that. Do you see what I'm saying there? It's like, outside of the story, in real life, like, it'd be nice if you could find places where you could keep away from unwanted advances. But, like, I don't know how we can really do that without, like, causing other issues, or having to make every bathroom private, like, no open sense like this at all. I don't know. There's really no answer to this at all. I was just thinking out loud. It's something I pondered before, being like, as the barriers start breaking down, like, will that become a legitimate concern? Like, it's something that my kids are gonna have to face, you know? If they are into, if they are attracted to guys, or if they're attracted to girls, like, should there be a level of separation that naturally should be enforced based on the what and who they are attracted to? I don't know. Blah blah blah. Let's move on. Open behind me. There she is, turning around. I saw Mayuko, and with her front hidden by a towel. Oh, that's a sneaky smile. I smile as our eyes meet. Cheers, Mayuko. Hello again. How is the water? Mayuko slowly descended into the stone stairs. At the foot of the stairs, there was an odd lamp that reminded me of the western street lamps. As Mayuko passed it by, the light illuminated her milky white skin. Not bad. You should hurry up and come over here. Reaching one of the shower mirrors, Mayuko sat down on the wooden stool. I have to wash off all this dirt first. Mayuko picked up a basket from the neighboring stand and put it on her own, then lowered her towel to her knees as she reached out towards the shower handle. Ah, be careful, that one's gonna be pretty hot. Is that the only thing that's kind of hot? Anyway, I tried to warn her, but she'd already turned the handle by the time I finished. Yeah. That was not a very good sound. She turned the water off almost immediately. Why on earth is it so hot? Sorry, I used the same shower just now. Mayuko picks up her shower head and makes a face towards her basket, turning her handle again. Xena fiddles with the blue and red knobs for a while, adjusting temperature of the water. I thought I'd be boiled alive. She narrowed her eyes as she stuck her hand into the shower stream. I moved closer to her stand, sending waves across the bathtub. Excuse me. Oh, hot water spilled forth onto the shining tiles, turning into steam. After confirming the temperature with her palm, Mayuko began washing herself. She first raised her head a little and sprayed some water on her chest, then leaned her head forward. She pulled her hair up with one hand, then sprayed water on her neck, letting it trickle down the length of her back. Hey! Here you go. Hey, want me to wash your back? Mayuko slightly turned my way after I addressed her, but soon changed her mind and shifted her gaze back to the mirror. I would appreciate it. Oh, so I really can? After raising out the bathtub, spraying water all around me, I brought the stool around Mayuko and sat down on it. See, here's one thing, once again. I imagine that helping each other in these types of open, like bathrooms, like, it could be just a thing you do as a friend, but it also could be a very sensual thing, you know? It all depends on the type of attraction and mutual feelings you have with each other, so it's like, it's harder to judge these things in these types of situations. And then the other side of it too is like, it shouldn't also be possible for a guy and a girl who are just genuinely friends that they could be able to go through a similar experience and not have it be a sexualized thing. Shouldn't that be possible? I would argue yes, but not everyone would agree with me on that. I heard the phrase before that like some people just believe that guys and girls can't just be friends. Absolutely disagree. Absolutely disagree. Yeah, it's a complicated issue, but I definitely think it's definitely, like, it's not only possible, but I'm pretty sure that, like, in a situation like this, I could feel comfortable with it with certain people, but, once again, it's definitely culturally not acceptable very much. I was joking, actually. You can't go back on your word now. Mayuko turned around slightly and handed me her towel. After taking the towel in one hand, I proceeded to place a piece of soap on it. I don't get very many opportunities to have my back washed here, so I've always wanted to try it at least once. That's so. Absolutely not professional. It's my first time, so please be gentle. Oh gosh. Oh, we're just going in swinging, aren't we? Mayuko made a coquettish smile. Leave it to me. I smeared some of the soap on the towel and began washing her back. It was even wider than I thought. It was moving slightly in sync with her breathing. Surprise there. Her back moves in response to her lungs. I moved the soapy towel from her shoulders to her waist. How is it? Not bad. Not bad at all. Glad to hear it. I rested my head against the edge of the bath and considered the ceiling. There's no trace of any lights on it. However, there was an odd slanted line going across the center. It seemed like the ceiling consisted of 2 rows of planks, and the line was the chink between them. The light seeping into the illuminated room. Hey, Mayuko! How did you change those lights over there? I addressed Mayuko without changing my position. My voice echoed across the wide bathroom. You can reach the fluorescent lamps there with a stepladder. So those were fluorescent lamps too? That's boring. What did you think they were? I was hoping for something more romantic, like, say, a breeding ground for fireflies between those planks. Something like that. I don't know if that's romantic. Well, fireflies are cool, but breeding ground? That's kind of gross. Like, that's like an infestation. Yeah, that I think Mayuko agrees with me. Is that romantic? Sounds creepy to me. Mayuko and I are on the same page. Really? It reminds me of bad horror movies. What about the Illuminous Moss then? That sounds pretty bad too. Why? I don't know. To me, it just feels kind of wrong to mix artificial with something living. Really? A cold drop of water fell on my eyelids, distracting me from the conversation. Narrowing my eyes, I noticed that the ceiling was covered with them. They were slowly moving across the planks, accumulating in their edges and dropping down once they'd grown big enough. I'm guessing it's just, you know, steamy. Good grief, this would be a hard place to keep mold-free. Spotting one of them right above my head, I instinctively closed my eyes and turned my head sideways. Instead of the sensation of cold water splashing against my eyelids, I felt a dull pain as it hit my temple instead of I hit my temple against something hard. Ow! What are you doing? Nothing. I sat up, rubbing my aching head to meet Mayuko's worried gaze. It seemed like I'd hit my head against the faucet. It was located slightly above the rest of the bath's edge. Its constant stream of hot water served to keep the water in the bath fresh. There was a small plate with salt on it. Mayuko, is there something wrong with this bath? Mayuko gave me a puzzled look. What do you mean? Is it haunted or something? No. What on earth gave you that idea? Mayuko seems concerned. Then why is there salt here? Just in case. I figured it wouldn't hurt to have some here. I don't know. Salt reminds me of exorcisms and stuff. Why would you keep any here if there's no point to it? It's for cleansing yourself. Then leave it someplace where it's harder to spot. Wouldn't that just make it creepier for those who end up finding it? You have a point there. Interesting. So salt for cleansing. Like, are they talking like homeopathic type stuff? Like if you're out of balance, your pH is out of balance or something? I don't know. Mayuko made an audible sniff as we left the bathroom. Drops of water dripped down onto the wooden floor. Here you go. I picked up 2 towels from the shelf and handed one to Mayuko. Mayuko wrapped herself in the towel, then pulled off a smaller one from the shelf that was wrapped around her head. I wiped myself dry with my own towel, walked into the long shelf that had the basket with clothes in it, and began changing. I put on my underwear and was putting on my sweater over my head when... Achoo! Did you catch a cold or something? After managing to jam my head through the collar, I carefully pulled my hair through it. Once I'd finished changing, I glanced towards Mayuko and noticed she still only had a towel on when she was drying her hair. You should put on some clothes before you start getting cold. Alright. Hope she's okay. After we both returned to the night duty room following our bath, Mayuko was off to the kitchen to prepare some tea. I was about to pull a seat cushion closer to myself and sit when my eyes wandered to the vase on the windowsill. A branch of the camphor tree from the inner yard rested in it, with a yellowish-green caterpillar crawling along one of its leaves. You took it with you? There was a newspaper laid under the vase. Yes, I thought it might drown in the rain. I could hear Mayuko's voice from the kitchen. The caterpillar pointed its 2 antennae right at me and turned completely motionless. I tried addressing the thing with a, "Good for you," but it showed no reaction. Mayuko came from the room carrying a tray with a teapot and 2 teacups on it. Once she reached the table, she filled the cups with steaming tea and handed one to me. After taking a sip, I let out a brief sigh. Having a bath in June is a wondrous thing. That does sound really nice. I agree. The hum of the rainfall filled the silence of the room. This seems like the perfect day. I mean, like, that bath looked awesome. Like, so luxurious. And then to be able to have, like, a hot cup of tea and sitting inside and listening to the rain pour, this is like heaven. I wish. I love it when it rains. It's my absolute favorite. Being stuck out in the rain, not fun. Being able to be inside, warm and snuggled, and listening to the patter of the rain and the occasional rumblings of distant thunder. It's just perfect. The absolute best. The sky was covered by a host of dark clouds, giving our surroundings an evening-like gloom. Mayuko snuffed her nose. Oh, hello. I took the thermometer from Mayuko's hands, who herself was lying in bed. The red line in the mercury filled tube had decreased to 39 degrees Celsius. I shook the thermometer to cool it down, then put it back into its case. They say the doctors don't follow their own advice, but what about you nurses? Mayuko slightly furrowed her brow in indignation, but ultimately said nothing. After cooling off the towel in the silver bowl and squeezing most of the water out, I placed it on still protesting Mayuko's forehead. She's burning up, man. She'd better be careful. I bet you caught it on the day we planted those flowers. Oh, so this is like a later day. Mayuko avoided my eyes. Your temperature has dropped a little. How do you feel? Slightly better. At this rate, I'll be back on my feet by tomorrow. Do try to get better as soon as possible. We can manage it when it comes to a number of things, but neither Sunday or I know how to cook. Mayuko sounded a chuckle, her lips curled back in a broad smile. I'll cook something nice for you two tomorrow. Well, you don't need to overdo it. I can handle making breakfast. There were 2 camphor tree branches in the porcelain vase resting next to the windowsill. One of their leaves was a yellowish-green caterpillar. The whole site was illuminated by the moonlight. Mayuko coughed a few times. Need some water? Yes, please. Her voice was barely audible, so she added a nod for reinforcement to her to reinforce her answer. Ooh, she really sounds really sick. I stood up and walked into the kitchen. I picked up Mayuko's teacup from the shelf and filled it with tap water. Once I was done, I returned to Mayuko with cup in hand. I'll lift you up. I can get up by myself. Hey, no need to be shy with me now. I slid my arm behind her back and slowly lifted her up. Here you go. I offered Mayuko the cup. She took it with both hands and began drinking in slow gulps. I could hear the gong of the wall clock striking the hour from the corridor. I think I'll be going to bed soon. Oh, okay. I prevented Mayuko from getting up. Hey, you need to lie still. Thank you very much. I feel much better now. Mayuko narrowed her eyes and smiled as she lay back down. I picked up the towel that had slipped down onto her chest, and after cooling it down with the water again, placed it back on her forehead. Afterwards, I grabbed her now empty teacup and walked over to the kitchen to fill it back up with water. Once I was done with that, I placed the cup next to her bed. Thank you very much. Don't stay up too late, okay? I moved towards the door and turned back one more time before leaving. Good night. Good night. That was very sweet of her. Oh, no! Don't leave your windows open. Returning to my room, I could see curtains flapping in the wind. I rushed inside to close the window as soon as I could. I looked down at the floor and felt like parts of it had become more expressed in color, but couldn't see well in the freshly turned on and still somewhat dim light. The rain seemed to become even stronger. Ooh. The room was suddenly enveloped in blinding light as I sat down on the bed. I could hear 3 intimidating rumbles in the distance. Nice, good storm. Another thread of light pierced the skies while I was looking outside, causing my room to momentarily light up. I spent a few more minutes watching the lightning and stood up. You gonna sneak right back, huh? I carefully opened the door to the night duty room. Takako? Oh, so you were awake. After taking off my slippers, I stepped inside. Yes, I was just looking outside. Oof. The room suddenly lit up again. Mayuko closed her eyes and opened them again. Can I sleep here? You might end up catching my cold. Oh, it'll be fine, really. I've got a good resistance against these things. I opened up the closet, grabbed another futon, and laid down next to Mayuko, and properly made myself comfortable on it. I noticed that Mayuko was still staring at me. You're not sleeping? It's hard to sleep with a thunderstorm still raging outside. You won't get better if you don't sleep. I know. Mayuko closed her eyes, smiling. I spent the entire day in bed, so I don't really feel sleepy now. Yeah, that tends to happen when you're sick. I pulled up the sheet to cover my shoulders, still trembling from the cold. The thunderstorm appeared to have moved on to the other side of the mountain. Its booming echo could not only be heard in the distance. By the way, about that new notebook I gave you, are you writing entries every day? Sure. Okay then. What should we talk about? I don't think chatting will help you fall asleep, I replied after a short pause. Then you can talk, and I'll listen. But then I won't be able to fall asleep. Mayuko was overcome with a brief coughing fit. I decided to give in to what she asked. Well, what do you want to hear? Tell me about something you wrote down in your diary. I'd rather tell you about one of my trips. You seemed curious when I mentioned I was reciting the Dasane. I think I heard Mayuko inhale a breath, but it was too dark to confirm. That sounds nice. I'd definitely love to hear it. Was what she said in the end. So did the trips happen, or is this part of her delusion, the reason why she's here? Hmm. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Oh, hello. That's very sweet. Oh. That changed a bit. Did she leave or is she not real? What is even real anymore? Russell, Russell. What is real? I don't know. I don't know what to trust. I opened my eyes to pitch darkness. For starters, I reached out and turned my alarm off, but my hand grasped on the air. We didn't bring it with us. I heard Sachiko's voice. Oh, this is a story now. We didn't bring it with us. As some light finally entered the room, a wallpaper I wasn't familiar with appeared in front of my eyes. I let my hand drop and used my elbow to sit up. And now we're back to the watercolor stuff. Huh. Now, okay. So, maybe the watercolors are all made up. That could be a pattern, possibly. And maybe why we're being asked to keep a journal, why Takako's being asked to keep a journal, is because, like, she needs to be recording what's real. And in hopes that she'll stop just recollecting these trips that aren't real, maybe. Sachiko, sitting in front of the dresser, looking at the map, gave me a glance and a warm smile. Good morning. Good morning. I somehow got out of bed and walked over to the shower room. There she is. We missed you, Sachiko. When I returned, Sachiko had already finished dressing and combing her hair. She also seemed to have turned on the radio in the meantime. Ooh. They're still in LA? Or actually, that might be San Francisco. With nothing on but a bath towel on me, I walked to the window and looked out at the scenery outside. Patches of blue sky peeked out from between the thin layer of clouds. Hardly what one could call a bright day, but still good enough for sightseeing. It'll clear out past noon, though it might cloud over again in the evening. I wish it would clear at night instead. Around here, it rarely seems to rain during this season. Apparently, it's fog we should rather be watching out for. Yeah, that sounds like San Francisco. What do you want to do about the breakfast? Sachiko, still in her chair, placed her comb on her table and turned to me. Though the window, I could see a cable car passing an intersection. People filled the streets, even this early in the morning. Men and women in suits, casually dressed couples, travelers pulling their carry-on bags. They're all hurrying around towards their respective destinations. That cafe looks interesting. The establishment I pointed to through the window had a number of people standing at the outside table, seated at their outdoor tables reading papers while enjoying breakfast. What cafe? Sachiko stood up, came closer, and peeked over my shoulder. That one! Oh, I see. It does look nice. The place had been painted in a stylish-looking purple. They seemed to be running both a cafe and a bakery, with all sorts of breads and tarts lined up in the showcase window. Hi, good morning. The waitress handed us the menu as we sat down on one of the outdoor tables. I glanced at the other customers enjoying their meals around us. That and that. I pointed at the menu, reading a newspaper while drinking cappuccino, and made a hand gesture of drinking from a cup. Then I pointed at the chicken sandwich at the table of the elderly woman and made a gesture of biting something in my hands. Wow. It would be crazy trying to travel without knowing the language. I mean, people do it, and I know it's not too difficult, but still, crazy. May I have the same as that? Okay. The waitress nodded and gestured that she had understood our requests. She then turned to Sachiko. Are you ready to order? Yes, I'll have a coffee set, please. Alright. The waitress moved into the building after taking our orders. I guess if we're in America, I could try to give her a drawl. It wouldn't really match the if you visit San Francisco, it'd just be very normal, plain English. As she walked, her curly hair bounced behind her like a large spring. I feel like I've seen this waitress somewhere before. Really? We kept looking at her back until the door leading to the cafe closed. We walked shoulder to shoulder under the somewhat clear sky. I stuffed the macaron I had bought at the cafe in my mouth. There were several more colorful macaroons under the transparent wrapping of the long rectangular package I'd been carrying. I want to go check out this slope. I took a peek at Sachiko's map and pointed at one of the pictures on it. In that case, we should make a turn here and take a longer way around. Yeah, that way, and then we'd come out there, so... We continue onward, alternating between looking at the map and buildings around us. Hungry? I stuck out the macaroon pack to Sachiko. Not right now, I just ate one. I picked up the pink macaroon and stuffed it in my mouth. As I continued up the slanted road, I kept glancing upward to my sides. There was a bunch of plants under the red parasol set up next to the black iron fence at the entrance of the flower shop. Reddish gerbera and roses. Yellowish matricarnia. White Casablanca lilies. All sorts of colorful flowers adorn this establishment. Looking at the flowers helps fill you with a tender feeling, doesn't it? Oh, that's what so she's reading it. Looking at flowers helps fill you with tender feelings, doesn't it? Did they remind you of something? The melody I hummed prompted Sachiko to smile and note how she was impressed with how she knew the song. You knew it too. The buildings lined the street with the walls seemed to be an odd mixture of general stores, cafes, and private apartments. That was really random. It kind of seemed like a little bit of a tangent there. It was harder to label as either a residential or commercial area. I felt as though we'd been exposed to the backstage of a tourist destination. Yet even in a place like this, the buildings boasted arches and windows alongside lavish columns and buttresses. A cable car passed right past us, accompanied by a gust of wind. I rode up the slope, then continued downward, eventually disappearing from view. After we made a turn, we found ourselves climbing up a considerably steeper slope. I thought getting to the harbor would be a piece of cake, but this road's still full of slopes. My legs hurt from all the walking I did yesterday. It didn't take long for my forehead to get all moist and sweat either. Yeah, no, San Francisco is probably not one of the easiest places to walk around, hence the cable cars. I should take those. Most harbor towns are like this. Sachiko, on the other hand, seemed to be doing just fine. Not even her expression had changed. Is she not real? Let's check out the cable car first. I walked over to Sachiko and borrowed her map. Alright, we should go that way. I pointed at the downward slope located at the other end of the street and then grabbed Sachiko by the arm. I thought you wanted to look around. My legs are tired. Let's just go at our own pace. Well, I don't mind either way. I descended the slope while pulling Sachiko after me. Now, what's with that sultry Sachiko hashtag I was seeing around, by the way? I don't know what that exactly means. It's just referencing the way that she acts differently now. Wow! The cable car we saw earlier stopped at a lone slope surrounded by buildings on both sides. We could also make out the sea in the distance. The cool gust of wind swept us from below, carrying the sense of waves. We spent some time gazing at the sea until the cable car suddenly popped up on the horizon. As the vehicle, nearing its stop, began to slow down, the driver hopped off with the agility of a street performer, hurrying over to a nearby lever and flipping it to make sure the cable car turned around. Only the rear end of the vehicle seemed to have individual seats, all isolated in small cubicles with windows. The front had no walls, only poles for standing passengers to hold on to. And instead of seats, there was a long bench splitting the car in two with the middle, allowing passengers to sit on both ends. It's definitely something I want to see someday. I've never been to San Francisco. The cable car's exterior was colored in dark green with window frames kept in the natural color of wood. Its roof was reddish brown with some outdated-looking advertisements lining the walls on the inside. The driver climbed back into the car as it finally finished turning around. Now was the cue for everyone waiting on the stop to begin boarding as well. I stepped into the car first, and after turning around, pulled Sachiko inside as well. I continued to guide her to the rear end and made her sit on one of the seats next to the window. Okay, whoa, like half. You're not going to sit? She looked up at me from her seat. Yeah, I want to enjoy the sights from a higher vantage point. Okay then. Sachiko leaned against the backrest and let out a small sigh. Then, upon realizing that I was still looking at her, she raised her face again. What? Oh, nothing. Suppressing my smile, I shifted my gaze to the scenery beyond the window. And so we continued towards the harbor, passing through cramped streets in the shadow of the giant buildings surrounding us at every angle. Interesting. Ah, these memories are so crazy. What's real? I don't know what's real. Oh, hey, we're back in this room, huh? I felt as though time itself had stopped in this dimly lit night duty room. I shifted my consciousness back from the memories and inhaled a light breath. I could hear the rain outside. It was starting to grow louder, almost resembling our evening squalls. During times like that, I'd enjoy listening to all the different sounds of rain made as it fell on leaves, the grass, the glass, or the roof. Mayuko seemed to have already fallen asleep. With no one left to listen to my story, I stopped talking and, after adjusting the height of my pillow a little, closed my eyes. Sleep claimed me soon after my vision went dark. It almost felt like I was being swallowed deep down into the earth. I could hear the wind whistling somewhere in the distance. I could have sworn I spotted tears around Mayuko's eyes, but by the time I could confirm it, my consciousness had already drifted into a deep slumber. What could that be about? So, these memories, whatever they are, they make her really sad. Like, are they like a sign of our condition? Do they remind her of something? Are they about her, but we've invented a whole new person to be her in our dreams? That would be really sad. Like, what if she wasn't like our nurse? What if she was like literally like our partner? And then as we slowly went mad, she took a job to take care of us. Oh, hang on. I was gonna stop right here, but I was red flash. Red flashes are bad. Snap. I woke to the unnerving sound of something extremely tense and tough, like a piano string seemingly snapping in two. There's ringing in my ears. Oh, what the heck? I can see the contours of the traditional Japanese room in my hazy vision, and the screen is bumping. Most of it had been overtaken by darkness, almost giving me the impression I was deep underwater. I don't like that. The last time I played a digital novel that did the jumping stuff, that was Doki Doki. That's giving me chills already. What the fetch? The ringing suddenly grew worse, and my eyes misted over. I was sure that even monsters know man was lurking within that darkness, glaring at me with hungry eyes. Oh, every monster known to man. That makes more sense. Cold sweat covered my forehead. I slowly rose to my feet, careful not to make a sound, and continued to the kitchen. I found a cup and turned on the tap. The moment the water hit the sink, it sounded almost like standing next to a waterfall. I hurriedly stuck out my cup to block the stream. That sounds a lot like what Sachiko described. I took a sip of the ominously sloshing liquid. My eardrums nearly exploded at the sound of water passing through my throat, making me fall to my knees in surprise. I made myself focus on the cold sensation in my stomach for relief. I leaned against the stove and embraced my knees. Closing my eyes, I remembered the special trick that a friend once taught me that would always help me fall asleep. I would imagine myself floating in the middle of an empty sea. However, no matter how hard I tried, a raging storm would come to carry me away. Fetch, man. I slightly opened my eyes and saw Mayuko sleeping in the night duty room. Reminding myself that I wasn't alone in the storm, I closed my eyes again. Holy crap. Oh, I don't like it. Okay. I think we're gonna have to end here for today. No. I'm gonna go a little longer, dang it. Had another fit? Miyuko's voice rolled out like thunder. As I opened my eyes, I saw her rising from her futon and coming over to me. I closed my eyes again and responded by furrowing my eyebrows. I heard the rustling of clothes. Mayuko probably crouched down in front of me. Something touched my ears. Aww. I felt as though there was an intense raging, gusting wind trying to escape my ear canals now that the warm sensation had blocked it. Jeez. I could hear the sound of pulsing blood, but it wasn't mine. As I began to focus on that sound alone, the others gradually faded out. Mayuko was covering my ears with both of her hands. The somewhat nostalgic sound of pulsing blood drowned out all other noise. I didn't mean to wake you. I'm sorry. I tried saying that, but with my sense of hearing going completely haywire, I wasn't sure whether my voice actually came out or not. Mayuko remained silent, keeping her warm hands on my ears. That warmth slowly traveled to my frozen cheeks. I felt the storm drawing further away. The noise in my eardrums was gradually subsiding with every passing second. As my heart rate began to drop, I finally began the calming down. Jeez, what a broken people. It hurts. The violent sounds drilling through my brain had finally died down. I touched Mayuko's hand, signaling that she could let go. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay now. Mayuko tilted her head to look at my face in the moonlight. The area around your eyes seems reddish. Did you have a scary dream? I closed my eyes, trying to recall what had happened right before that fit. I think I had a dream, but it wasn't scary. If anything, it made me feel warm and nice. I couldn't recall exactly what the dream was about, though. And I didn't feel like trying too hard either, especially after that nightmarish ear-ringing fit I just had. Will you be able to go back to sleep now? I took a few moments to make sure everything around me sounded okay, then slowly nodded. On the other hand, with my mind finally clear, I couldn't help but wince at what all this implied. Let's make sure to check your diary tomorrow, and see if you haven't forgotten something again, okay? Oh, so every time she has one of these fits, she tends to forget stuff? Ooh, that's really scary. And now we have to end. Holy fetchin' cripe. Oh. Oh, nice! The new tips. Consultation room has been unlocked. Bedroom has been unlocked. Alright, so we're going to have to start with that next time, because those tips are always great and make me feel good inside. Oh, fetch, man. This is insanity. But you know what? We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to figure this out somewhere. Somehow, this eventually will end, and we will eventually learn the truth, right? We have to at some point. But man, this is exciting and terrifying. This game, I don't know. Most of the other games, I come away feeling either like really happy or really sad. This game just makes me feel uncomfortable. But that's a good thing. It makes me think. And that's what's really important about these types of stories. So thank you so much for being here today. You guys have any running thoughts? We had some pretty crazy discussions last time. It's really fun because we definitely, like, most of us have no clue what's going on. Although some of you have finished it. So I thank you so much for not spoiling it for us. But good grief. I don't even know where to start with this one. I don't know. I'm mostly just here for the ride at this point, just going to figure out what's going to happen. But you know what? I always appreciate your thoughts, and then if you feel like you want to bring up something I brought up and make a comment on that, you can definitely do that. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me and enjoying this nice SeaBed visual novel. And until the next video you're watching me or whatever you see me in next, I'll see you there.